Today guys, we are going to talk about a Nintendo Switch game that I was not expecting at all to be announced even, or not expecting to enjoy. And that game is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This is not the first Zelda game that is inspired by the Dynasty Warriors series. There was actually another, it came out on the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U. And this game is a little different than that. This game is far different from the first Hyrule Warriors game, as it actually pertains to the current Zelda story by being a prequel game to Breath of the Wild. This is what sold me on buying the game, because I personally am not a fan of Dynasty Warrior games. I find them to be very repetitive and grindy. However, with Nintendo giving assets from Breath of the Wild over to the developers behind this game is so heavily Breath of the Wild that I couldn't pass up on it. I mean, this game just breathes Breath of the Wild energy. And because it's so heavily tied to Breath of the Wild, which I consider a must-own game if you're a Nintendo Switch owner, I figured I had to give this game a proper shot. So today we're, like I said, gonna talk about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more videos like this in the future. I do game reviews, I do talking point videos, I do, news, all that kind of crap. So if you enjoy any of that, make sure you're subscribed for more videos like this in the future. But let's get into it. So I actually already recorded this video. I already recorded it. I just really didn't like how it ended up turning out. So I decided to scrap that video entirely, and I started typing an entirely new script, which is why this video took so long to get out. This game's been out for a while, but that is why this video took so long to get out. So I do apologize for that. However, I decided to scrap the first take of this video because I didn't feel it captured how freaking awesome this game is. I mentioned I'm not a fan of Dynasty Warriors games, and I was not expecting to like this game in the slightest. But holy crap, was I wrong. Hyrule Warriors is a fantastic game that I am enjoying every freaking minute of, but it's not your traditional Zelda game, and I would not recommend it to all Zelda fans. So let's talk about why that is. So the first thing I want to bring up here is that this game's story is freaking amazing. I have not completed it. At the time of writing the script, I'm around halfway through this game, and this is like a roughly 21 to 25 hour game, depending on, how much of the side missions you do, how much of the little side objectives you do in each mission. So it just depends entirely how much you put into it, how long this game is. But yeah, it's roughly 21 to 25 hours. And throughout this entire 21 to 25 hour experience, all the story missions have these beautiful cutscenes. They're so freaking good, and I love them to death, because in the original Breath of the Wild, I very, very much thought that there was just not enough time spent with, the pilots of the Divine Beast. You really got introduced to these characters, but you didn't spend enough time with them, where in this game, you really get that time with these characters. You learn about these characters, you really get involved in their stories, and I am a huge fan of this because, like I said, I didn't think you got enough of that in Breath of the Wild, but I loved the cutscenes in Breath of the Wild as well. They were very well voice acted, and it was just something that I wish we had more of in that game, and we are now getting here. So the plot of this game is that you are partaking in the war that took place 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild in the Great Calamity. You progress through numerous story missions, which feature those beautiful cutscenes I mentioned before, where you will take on hordes of enemies and find new weapons, resources, and level up your characters. That's right, characters, that's a plural. You can play as more than just Link in this game, which is freaking awesome. Other characters include Impa, Zelda, and all of the pilots for the Divine Beast, as well as some additional characters that I have yet to unlock, but I don't really want to give away because it's kind of spoilery, and they're really cool. So I looked it up myself just so I could mention it in this video, the things I do for you guys. But yeah, I'm not going to bring up the exact characters here because there are some cool ones. Each character has their own unique playstyle and movesets, but my favorite character still is Link, because I feel he's the most versatile, because you can change up which weapon style he's using, which kind of changes his whole gameplay style. So I just still really enjoy playing as Link. There are also armors that you can collect that, don't really have any actual bonuses or anything for you. They're just more cosmetic, but they're still really cool to have. They didn't have to put these in the game, but they did, so it's a nice little touch. Another huge thing I liked, and I was not expecting to really be in this game because of the hack and slash nature of these games, is the use of the Sheikah Slate. All the powers that came with the Slate in Breath of the Wild are here in this game, which changes how you handle different enemy types. It's very apparent while playing the game that they wanted this game to be as true to Breath of the Wild as possible, and I really appreciate all the small details that they were willing to go out of their way to put in this game. Now, in each mission, you'll be up against hundreds of different enemies that you will hack and slash your way through. And in the early missions, I found this very button mashing and repetitive. And this is why I say this game isn't for every Zelda fan. Now, I say this because it doesn't play like a traditional Zelda game. It has all, the Zelda art and the Zelda characters, but it's not a traditional Zelda game, so that might turn some people away. However, the further I got into the story, the more weapons I unlocked for Link, and with the increasing list of playable characters that I had unlocked, this sense of repetition kind of faded for me, and I really started to enjoy myself. In each mission, you don't have to select just one character that, you're going to be stuck with for that entire mission. You can have a variety of characters that you can change to at a moment's notice throughout your level. And on top of this, you can also control where they are on the map if you want to try and take on different objectives at the same time. So it's a really cool little strategic element that they've added as well. It's also nice because if you do get tired of playing as one character, you can swap to another and just keep smashing in the heads of the bokoblins around you. Not to mention that there is just a lot to do in each mission, whether it be trying to, max out the amount of enemy kills that you get, or trying to collect resources so you can complete some side objectives. I never really felt like one mission was too much like another. I just found the mission variety was good. Now, I just mentioned the side objectives, and on top of this amazing story, there are these side objectives for you to unlock by completing the main story missions. And these side objectives can do things like unlock shops, create training grounds to level your characters, or they can unlock other side missions focused on certain characters that, give you bonuses and new combos and stuff like that, and it's really cool. There are a ton of these side objectives, and many require resources that can be found throughout each mission, giving you a reason to return to older missions where these resources can be found and play through them again. And honestly, it gives the game a lot of replay value and extra stuff to work toward aside from just, grinding to complete that story. Now, this game does have faults to mention here as well, and these have more to do with the technical setbacks involved with it being on the Nintendo Switch than it does with the actual gameplay. So what is this problem for a game that I've pretty much praised all video? The frame rate sucks. The frame rate is atrocious, and it takes away from the game a little bit. This game runs super poorly in a number of instances, especially, when you've got huge waves of enemies approaching you, or there's a lot of effects going on the screen at a time. It just runs like crap. Now, I've noticed this problem is very exclusive to playing this game docked. So if you play it handheld, I have noticed very little to no frame drops, which I'm a fan of, but it sucks that it does it when it's docked, because I've been recording for it and I want to stream it a little bit. So it's very disappointing that this game plays so poorly docked. Other than that, this game is fantastic, but I have to mention this is a huge thing. I have to bring this up when I'm reviewing a game. All in all, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is a fantastic addition to the Breath of the Wild story and the Legend of Zelda series as a whole. It may not play like a traditional Zelda game, which may turn some fans away, like I mentioned earlier, but if you are a fan of Breath of the Wild story, or perhaps the Dynasty Warriors fan, this game is a fantastic addition to your Nintendo Switch collection. There are some minor setbacks, like with the frame rate issues we just talked about, but like I mentioned, these setbacks do not take away from the overall experience that you're getting in this game. So if you're considering picking up Age of Calamity, I would highly recommend it. Or the holiday season is upon us. This would be a great game to get for someone in your family or a loved one that has a Nintendo Switch system. That is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you found it entertaining and helpful, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and smash the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Share the video with your friends. Let's grow this community here on the channel. Speaking of community, we got a community Discord. People over there playing games like Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Switch stuff. Check that out if that is something that interests you. I do stream over on Twitch. It's going to be whatever I feel like playing. Call of Duty, Fortnite, Age of Calamity, whatever. Check that out. We just hang out, we talk, we have a good time. Sometimes I play with viewers if we're playing Pokemon or something, so it's a fun place to be. I've also made a TikTok. It's a lot of fun, honestly. Being able to condense what I do here on the channel into a very small scale video, I'm really enjoying it, and it's a very fun process. So I'm doing exclusive stuff over there. I'm also posting like my Twitch clips and stuff like that. So if that is something that interests you, check that out as well. And all my other social media should be on screen here at this point. So if you're interested in keeping up with me, this channel, the stream, anything like that, check me out there as well. Like I said, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.